All right, should be pretty good to go. Let me just check a couple things. Okay, yep, sound's working. First time streaming in a little while, but yeah, should be good to go. All right, cool. Twitch is working. Awesome. So, if you're watching the stream after the fact, welcome. Uh, and just welcome to a brand new Rimworld series. It's been a little while since I started a Rimworld playthrough and streamed it, so I'm really looking forward to doing this. Um, but yeah, if you've never seen Rimworld before, it's like the easiest way to describe it is that it's a colony management and story generator. You don't really like win by getting the best gear. You build a colony, manage the people living there, and the game throws increasingly ridiculous and difficult situations at you, such as like raids, diseases, mental breaks, uh, man-eating animals, and if it can go wrong, it probably probably will go wrong. Let's just set up a quick stockpile here. But yeah, basically this playthrough is going to be a little bit different. Um, Instead of just random colonists, we're starting with 6 custom characters based on the members of the community. So everyone has their own strengths, weaknesses, and jobs around the colony. So over time, I'm hoping that they actually become actual characters rather than just pawns on the screen. Our long-term goal is to build a massive mountain fortress that lasts for years. We're going to stay loyal to the Empire, climb the Imperial ranks, dive into Gen X and Gene Banks, which I haven't really done much with before. And once the colony is established, we're going to start investigating the anomaly content. The map is also a little bit polluted, so another goal is to slowly reclaim it over time instead of just abandoning it. You can see some pollution over here, which you can't really grow much over there. Froja, what's going on? Froja subbed? Awesome. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing a bunch of Rimworld. Yeah, I'm hoping that this kind of ends up feeling more like an ongoing story than just another Rimworld playthrough. Every stream will have another chapter to the story, and I'll keep a running history of everything that happens over on the Discord, so anyone can catch up if they miss an episode. As for today, we're keeping expectations realistic. We need enough food so nobody starves, and we're starting with 6 people. Usually you only start with 3 people, and I have the same amount of food. I have the same amount of food as we would start off with only 3 people. So 6 people will definitely eat through all the food. That's why I'm having people start to plant. Sway's doing a good job of that. But yeah, we need to make sure that nobody starves, that enough defenses are there so the first raiders just don't walk straight into the colony. And we need to keep everyone's mood under control because in Rimworld, sometimes your biggest threat isn't the raiders outside, but it's the colonists who decide to punch your anti-grain warhead because they ate without a table. That's some things that you need to manage. Everybody has needs, expectations, and all that fun stuff, and people are going crazy right now. Lance, what's going on, Lance? C Duffo raided with the party in 19. Damn, that's a lot of people. How do your stream go? I tuned in a little bit as I was getting ready, but yeah, appreciate all the first time chatters, seeing all familiar faces from C Duffo crew. C Duffo, I really appreciate the raid and the sub. Cool. Redeem hydrate. All right, I'll drink some water. But as I was kind of just talking about in the beginning, basically for everyone just coming over from C Duffo stream, welcome. This is a brand new start of a brand new playthrough, and if you don't really know Rimworld that well, think of it like Project Zomboid, but instead of just controlling one survivor, you're managing an entire group of people. And every person has their own personalities. You can see in the bio trait, they have all these things that they're, all their skills. Some traits: jogger runs faster, shooter has better shooting skill, hard worker, their work speed increases 20%. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in the background that's happening. But Basically, everyone has their own personality, skills, and relationships. And also, if things aren't going well, they have the ability to completely ruin your day. um, yeah, so it's a fun game. It's a colony simulation game. Everyone in this colony is based off of someone from the CDuffo community, and specifically like the community center there. It's fun talking with people and trying to get some of them into this playthrough. So I'll just walk through right now, kind of who we have and what their skills are, kind of thing. So first off, we have Waff. Waff is a dirt mole, builder, miner. If there's a mountain in the way, he's gonna make sure that mountain goes away. Then we have the legendary CDuffo himself. His childhood, he was a pizza lover. Adulthood, he was a biosphere. CDuffo, what are you getting hurt from, dude? You're getting... Oh, you pissed off the insects. There's some insects right here. Luckily, CDuffo's really good at melee, so he should be, even without a weapon... Oh, crap. Alright, CDuffo's already starting crap before before I can even give explanations of what everybody's doing. I'll try not to pause too. Okay, wow. All the insects are coming. Let's just see who's good at shooting. I think Anubis is good, so we're going to give him the bolt-action rifle. Waff, I don't think we honestly have many other weapons, so that's going to have to be it for now. Let's get everybody drafted. This is a little unexpected. I kind of didn't think those insects would be a problem, but it turns out they are. So CDuffo is getting beat up a little bit. Let's get Anubis in here. Insects are beating down our doors. We do have a dog as well, but it's not trained to fight. Let's get everybody fighting that. CDuffo, run away before you get too beat up. Anubis, try to shoot, but it probably won't go well. Let's get everybody beating up these insects. But, A-Town, what's going on? Julia, Benny, Catharsis, everybody's over here. Nice, let's go. Appreciate all the support. We're getting immediately beat up. Hopefully, like I said, this game can be unforgiving. I'm already downed. Sway is already down. I did not think we would fight a bunch of insects right from the start. Alright. Let's undraft everybody. Let's see if anybody's bleeding out. I'm bleeding out in 4 hours. Froja is going to save the day. She is our best medical person, so I'm going to have her rescue Waff real quick. Sway is also bleeding out in 4 hours. Froja's bleeding out in 24 hours. Anubis is fine. CDuffo is bleeding, but he's not bleeding out yet. CDuffo doesn't have any medical skill. Anubis also doesn't have any, so we're just going to have Froja tend to Waff in the field. I know this is a lot happening all at once. I did not intend for this to happen. 10 without medicine. I'm not even like properly set up. I was just doing like the intro stuff. Restart? No, we go with it. A-Town, gifted tier 1 sub to Lance. Much appreciated. So yeah, we are... Skeet's taking a nap. Dude, I mean, I guess that's fair. After what he's seen so far. CDuffo, can you rescue Sway, please? Froja, you're doing good. Wow, this is a mess already, but that's all part of the story. So that's all we're trying to do here. Is even the developers of the game are like, yeah, Rimworld isn't a video game; it's a story generator, which I get what they're trying to say. But yeah, Skeet, you have some medical skill? Can you tend to? No, not arrest Sway. We don't even have a prison set up. It's going to be one of our priorities, though. Tend to Sway, because he's bleeding out in 3 hours. Froja is doing the Lord's work. I'm now bleeding out in 13 hours instead of 4 hours. Froja coming through in the first minutes of our playthrough. So that's coming in clutch. CDuffo is just peacefully planting some potatoes. How do you be a person in the run? Just for this playthrough, I started off with some well-known friends. Obviously, I can't have too many colonists at the beginning. Froja, can you? Am I already tended? Am I up and walking right now? Oh, I'm chilling. Waff is chilling. I'm gonna do 1 time speed because I know everybody's kind of bleeding out. I'm gonna set Froja to self-tend. Where's our medicine? Do we even? Okay, yeah. Froja, please. Oh, you're drafted right now. Please. Okay, you're tending to yourself automatically. Sway is bleeding out 6 hours. Sorry, I gotta micromanage this a little bit, make sure nobody dies in the first few minutes. Okay, Froja's bleeding out. Duffo, Waff is good. So it's Froja and Sway that I need to look after. Um, yeah, I like using people's names and getting them involved in the playthrough because it's just fun to yell at people who actually Froja in Project Zomboid does a ton of construction, does a ton of like plant work and stuff and animals. So I kind of want to keep that theme going. Anubis is our resident crafter, so I wanted to make sure that he had good crafting skill, also construction and intellectual skills, so he can do some research. Skeet is our brainiac. He is purely intellectual crafting and a little bit of construction too, but mainly focused on. Okay, wait. Skeet is drafted. You don't have to be drafted. People are gonna start getting pissed off pretty quickly. Froja is tended to. Sway has life-threatening blood loss. Yeah, this is fine. This is just another Rimworld playthrough. All right, everybody, let me double check. Remind me in chat if somebody's dying, but nobody's bleeding out, so that is fine. They still, C Duffo looks, still needs to get tended to a little bit, but Waff is taking care of that. But wait a minute, I'm reading Benny. Can I be added in, and can you make me C Duffo's lover? I think Julia might get a little defensive of that, but we can see. But basically, we'll get raided by enemies, and there's no more insects here, so that's good. Anubis is stargazing after that bloody battle. It's still an insect that's alive, and honestly, it might come back to life real quick. So it's not bleeding out, so let's melee it to death. Yeah, so basically we'll get raided every once in a while, depending on our colony wealth. You'll see the wealth right here, the 17,000. The higher that gets, then the more, I guess, difficult or intense the raids can get. We'll start off by getting like some rabid animals that try to attack us. Sea Duffo and Anubis are just doing a little swim, trying to wash off all the blood probably. um, yeah, Julia, Benny, chill. But yeah, so basically we'll get raided. If we down any raiders, then we have the option to turn them into prisoners and eventually recruit them or keep them as slaves. Since C Duffo is a vampire, that's his genetic thing. He's gonna have to death rest every, I don't know, like 30 days, which means he'll be taken out for like 3 or 4 days. He can't do anything. So we're gonna have to time his death rest to be like right after we get raided, because it's unlikely we'll get raided back to back. It can definitely happen. If you know Rimworld, there's a few different storyteller settings. We're doing the setting where it's completely random, so we can get really difficult raids back to back to back. It's unlikely, but it can happen. And we aren't doing the easiest setting. The easiest setting is Community Builder. We're doing one step above that, where it's, I think, Adventure Story. So there's going to be, honestly, I usually play on Community Builder. So usually I'm used to easy settings just because I like building huge colony that's optimized, but we're not going for an optimized playthrough this time around. We're going through a nice story. Y'all bleeding and I'm just trying to help. Yeah, that's real, Froja. Everybody's bleeding. But now we're all good. We have a bulk goods trader from one of the other factions. There's a world, not to dump a lot of info at everybody who is just getting used to Rimworld, but there's a whole world map. There's a bunch of different factions. You can see these factions here. Some are friendly, and we can become allies with them, and they'll come in and help us if we need it. Some are permanently hostile, so we'll just keep getting raided from them. Right now we have people who aren't doing anything, so let's get some orders to see what's in this mountain? There's a huge mountain area. I haven't really shown off the tile. I don't want to zoom out too much because it's kind of hard to see. But there's some caves. There's an underground stockpile here, which we're going to really take advantage of at some point. We have a geothermal vent here, which we can get a lot of power from. Um, but yeah. Uh, so let's get some people to mainly WAF just to do some test mining into the mountain. I don't want any caves. I don't want to build into any caves. So let's try to do something like this. I plan to basically fill up this whole mountain, so I want to get that going. It seems like everybody who can plant did some planting. Sorry if I missed a couple things in chat real quick, because I need to get us properly set up. I hate having people not do anything. So let's get right away stonecutter's table. We'll just toss it outside for now. Somebody will build that. We won't have a ton of wood because this is a very dry map. Who is... Oh, they're shooting at the insect hive. And there's a mad vulture. So it's nice having some traders by us, because if we get attacked, which is the case with this mad vulture, they will help protect us. WAF is probably going to get targeted here, so let's have him... That vulture is quick, damn. We're just constantly getting hit right now. This is actually kind of crazy. Of course, there's a dude with flamethrowers, and now he's gonna... Yeah, all right, now we have a fire. Nice, great. Thank you for the help. Yeah, Froja, thanks for the fall. Snady, thanks for the fall. Fish reached a 30 stream streak. Damn. Yeah, I gotta lock in for real. Good job on the 50 follows, thanks. Yeah, it's we're getting there. 53 people right now. That's awesome. Jessica with the follow, much appreciated. But yeah, we're going through the ringer right now. Let's have C Duffo is really good at social, so he's gonna... I mean, I don't expect to really do much trading. We have 800 silver, so that's pretty good. But let's see what they have to trade. Right now, honestly, we might want some like food, but they don't have a ton of it. We can get rid of some ambrosia because that sells for a lot. I know we're gonna need components, so honestly, we might stock up on that. Yeah, let's stock up on components. That's never a bad thing to spend money on. Good for now. And we're going to need food right away, so the fastest thing that you can grow is rice. It's already 33% grown since when we started, so that's honestly pretty good. Let's deconstruct some of these ship chunks, because we get steel and components from that. And basically what this game is just a colony simulator that's focused on survival. There's things that you can do to optimize, nothing too crazy. I mean, there's a lot of depth to the game. There's DLCs and all that. But from a surface level, it's a colony simulator that focuses on survival. So you need to manage... You have some resources on the left side of the screen here. And Lance is right. We need to get guns, and that reminds me, who else is good at shooting? I know C Duffo is going to be our melee guy, so let's get him to equip that knife. Is there anybody else who's good at shooting? Okay, Sway is also good at shooting, so let's have him equip the revolver. You start off with usually like a rifle and then close range like handgun. So that'll definitely come in handy. Nobody was equipped with anything when those insects started attacking. But our main concern right now, if you look on the left, is we only have 28 of these survival meals. Those are going to go quickly with 6 people. Basically, everybody eats 2 meals a day, so 12 survival meals a day. So we only have enough food for like 2 days. Where's the Z's? There are mods for everything in this game. There's a zombie mod that I tried using in the past. It takes up a lot of resources on the computer, but it is a lot of fun. Maybe we'll do a Project Zomboid playthrough of Rimworld at some point. That would actually be pretty cool. But yeah, so right now, beginning stages, we're focusing on food. Hopefully that rice grows pretty quickly, and we need a way to cook it. I'd like to do an electric stove to start. That might be a little bit of a stretch because we have to get power going, which means we're probably going to need a windmill, which is fine. It's just going to take bit of resources right from the start. And in the mountain, you'll see that there's some resources, maybe somewhere. Yeah, over here there's vein of steel, and there's a whole bunch of steel everywhere. And that kind of thing. So usually you're good on resource. You just have to like mine it and stuff. For a bit. Once you get to the mid game, then you definitely need to find resources some other way. But basically, what we're going to try to do now is turn some of these stone chunks that you can see us getting from mining into the mountain, and also in the surrounding area, limestone chunks, marble chunks. Marble is good for making sculptures or nice looking floors. It helps with beauty. Limestone is much stronger than marble, so we're definitely going to Skeet. I I choose stream topic, which is bring back the ban word redeem. I got rid of that because it was very annoying to me, especially on a first stream where I'm trying to explain a lot of stuff. I'll have to bring it back. But Lance, you're heading off. Good night. Going to bed. All right. Thanks for swinging by, and make sure to check out the Discord too, because I'll just do a summary of the stream every stream in the Discord. I'll do a very short version and a longer, like story-oriented version. So if you miss any streams, no worries. That's where everything that's happening is gonna be. And every Wednesday I'll be streaming for this playthrough for a bit, as much as I can. So at least once a week. Try to stick to Wednesdays just so everybody remembers. But again, if you miss a stream, no big deal. The summaries will be in the Discord, and yeah, it'll be cool to just, I don't know, check in. Rimworld's one of those games where you can check in and see how the mountains, how the base has grown and expanded and really just grown over time. So even if you miss a couple streams, you're good to go. You'll understand what's happening. But yeah, have a good night. But yeah, bring back word ban redeem. I got rid of that for this stream, mainly because I know there's a lot of people who haven't played Rimworld before. So I'll have to explain a bunch of things more often than I do going forward in the future streams. But yeah, let's get some simple meals. There's different kinds of meals. Basically, the better the meal, the better the mood it puts people in. We don't have any refrigeration, so I'm only setting it to make 10 meals. Actually, until you have, yep. Until we have 10 simple meals. And simple meals can be made from either veggies or animals, which reminds me, we should probably hunt some things. Maybe a donkey, get some food flowing in. Who's our hunter? Nobody's our hunter right now. We can have Sway or Anubis hunt. I might have Anubis hunt for now, because Sway's going to be busy cooking, and Anubis doesn't really have too much to craft right now. Which reminds me, we have to make it so we turn some stone chunks into blocks that we can use for floors, and more importantly for walls. I think in terms of defense, there's this big open area here. We might just slap a wall right here and here, and I think raiders could technically come from here and come through the cave system here, so we might have to wall this off a little bit. We'll do that at some point in the future, because they probably won't raid from there too often. We do need, do we not? Yeah, meat hook. We'll put this here for now. We do need a meat hook. We don't have a ton of wood. That's going to be honestly a big problem for a while, is not having a lot of wood. Reminds you of Civ. I'd say it's like a cross between like Sims and, I don't know, just any survival game. Okay, let's speed up time a little bit, do 2 times speed. Everybody's sleeping for the most part. And you can see these bars at the top. There's these like green bars and then dark blue. That is their mood. So everybody has like basically a 50% mood. Sway is the most pissed off because he's in intense pain. He's addicted to wake up, so that's gonna really piss him off. He got pretty messed up from those insects, so that's why he's in a lot of pain. And I think he might have like a permanent injury, yeah, scratch on his left leg. So he's always gonna have 4% pain from that, so he's always gonna be a little pissed off from that. So we do need to manage everybody's needs. You can see one need that we should probably take care of real quick is bladder and hygiene. I have a mod called Delves Bad Hygiene, and it adds bathrooms and showers as a need for colonists. So we're gonna have to build some bathrooms, which take some resources. I'm thinking we're probably gonna have to use steel instead of wood because we're gonna need all the wood that we have. Sorry, I gotta remember to read through chat a little bit. See that folks try to raid every Wednesday. Nice. That means you're gonna have to stream every Wednesday now. 3-4 days a week. Julia's found some blue jays in the backyard. It crashed a zomboid whip. Oh man, catastrophic. Tried settlers? I have not tried settlers. I'm gonna have to look into that. But yeah, if you haven't joined the Discord, make sure to join the Discord. Our dog is eating our agave. I kind of forgot that we had a dog, so that's honestly nice because we can train our dog to attack, rescue, haul, and also comfort colonists, which will boost their mood a little bit. Anubis is trying to get some breakfast for everybody. That isn't just a survival meal. Honestly, Anubis is pretty good. Yeah, level 11 shooting. Skills max out at basically level 20. So Anubis is taking that donkey, and donkeys have a good amount of meat. Oh, we need a butcher table. Ah. I do a steel butcher table. We need that to be built right away. Oh, Frozier's on it, right? I didn't even have to force anybody to do it. Frozier's just on top of it. we got a solid group, solid team right now. Skeet's putting in some work, getting us some blocks. We already have 60 limestone blocks, which will be nice for some defenses. We're gonna need a lot right now. Let me make sure. Butcher creature, butcher forever. So Sway should now where is Sway? Cleaning vomit. Nice, that's good. Want a good clean area. Sway is now gonna butcher. That's set automatically, so whenever we have animals to butcher, Sway will be on top of that, and then Sway will also cook meals. I'm trying to have Sway washing. Yeah, so people are going to the water to wash up since we don't have any sinks or anything. And this is not what I wanted to see. Area revealed. It's not that big of an area, but I really wanted this to be solid mountain. I guess we'll see what's over in this direction. We struck compact machinery. Nice, those are components. Yeah, Frozier's so proud. Right now, our electric stove is only working when our windmill is powered, since we don't have any batteries. So we're gonna have to research batteries at some point. The beginning is always a little stressful, especially when you're streaming, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that you need to do. Let's get a steel research bench set up, and also let's just mine this steel, because right now a lot of people don't have stuff to do. So if WAF goes crazy and starts mining that, let me have him prioritize that. Maybe not that way. Maybe just then the steel is going to drop on the ground over there, and anybody who doesn't have anything to do is going to start hauling that. Now you can see our storage is filling up a little bit, so let's get double shelf. God, we're going to blow through steel. That's okay though. It's not really a good spot, but whatever. Good enough for now. We are already eating through steel. Yeah. So Sway should be able to cook right now. I want him to cook so we don't use our survival meals and instead we use simple meals. And since our food isn't refrigerated, it lasts 1.8 days. So I'm gonna have to stay on top of, hunting one animal at a time so it doesn't rot and become useless. And we don't want any meat to go to waste. Alright, so Sway already cooked up 8 meals, doing 4 meals at a time. Cool. Our crops are all planted. We have some rice there. We have some potatoes. Honestly, I might expand the potatoes a bit because we're going to need a lot of food. Starting off with 6 people is very different for me. It does kind of change how fast the game goes. But right now, what is it? Our second night? At least. We're chilling. I got to set research project. Let's get batteries going. I think Skeet will transition over to doing research. Let's get our dog a little animal sleeping spot in the corner where everybody's at. We're gonna have to get some bedrooms and stuff going real quick too. But hygiene. Everybody's probably sick of going to the bathroom in this nice pristine lake that we have over here, or I guess pond. So let's get some bathrooms made. I don't know exactly how I want to lay out everything yet, but for bathrooms, we can keep it pretty simple. I'll have WAF mine into there. We'll get some plumbing. And what we need for all our water needs is, to start off, a wind pump. I'll put this over here just because nothing will really grow over here. We'll have to connect our water to the windmill. This will pump water up from the ground, but in order to pump water up from the ground, we need a water well. And water wells can only be placed where there's water underneath the ground. And basically the only requirement of this is, you want it to be where a lot of water is. The water doesn't run out or anything. It's just kind of caps how much water you can pump per day. So a crappy spot, you might be only able to pump 1,000 liters, and a good spot, 3,000 liters a day. So that's kind of how that works. But if there's a water area where you dump sewage and that gets mixed in the water, then there's increased chance for like disease and stuff. So you want to make sure to avoid that. But basically we'll put the water pump inside right there, connect it to our other things here. Let's get a limestone, since Skeet's been making some limestone blocks. Get a limestone toilet there and a limestone shower here, and that will honestly be good for a while. We don't want anybody, we want some privacy, so we want to make sure that there's at least some doors going into the bathroom. They're pretty tight. You can build bigger bathrooms and stuff later on. So I think, is that all we need for pumps? Oh, we need to store the water, so we'll need a water tower. We'll put that right there, and we should be good once all this gets built. We're looking pretty good. And if anybody has any questions on how this game works or what's going on, feel free to ask. No questions stupid, especially if you've never even seen Rimworld before. But right now, Skeet is... C. Duff was researching, really? I guess you have decent intellectual skills, so that's good. WAF is doing some good work. Mining. Let's get him mining over here. Get that steel on the ground, because we're going to need a lot of steel. Alright, cool. So that is the very, very early game sorted out for the most part. Eventually we're going to need an AC. Right now you can see in the bottom right, it's 95 degrees here already, so honestly we're going to need an AC now. Yeah, let's put that there. We don't have enough steel right now. That's okay. Right now there's no water in our water tower, just because we don't have the windmill made yet. But WAF is hopefully doing some mining so we get some steel, and we should be building that windmill. Yeah, Froja's building that. Excellent. Froja, you're like the MVP of the night right now. Planted all our crops, healing everybody. So now we have a little bit of wind, and we're starting to get a tiny bit of water. It is pretty slow. I think one flush of the toilet is what? Does it say? It should say 14 liters per use. That's not too bad. I think the shower uses more. Yeah, the shower uses 65 liters. And Froja right now is pretty pissed off. Recreation deprived. Excellent. I completely forgot about recreation. Right now, honestly, a horseshoe, like a set of horseshoes, is probably all anybody's going to want for a little bit. So we're going to put a little area for people to do some horseshoes. At some point, we're going to have everything look super nice. So like fences around where we're growing crops, and like a dedicated horseshoe area that looks like a horseshoe area. Right now we're kind of plopping stuff down, but I do intend to not have the most optimized colony, but to have one that looks pretty good, which will change things up for me. I think that'll be pretty cool. And let's get some lights inside as well. People are probably not loving that it's dark, especially C. Duffo working at the research bench in the dark. We have enough water. No sewage capacity. Oop, I forgot about that. Eventually we can research septic tanks, but for now we're gonna build a sewage outlet. Let's make sure that there's no direct water under it. Honestly, right here, sewage outlet, we're just gonna dump all our sewage right there. That's yeah. Reduce, reuse, recycle. We're just doing none of that, and we're just dumping sewage everywhere. In a controlled manner though, so yeah, that's fine. Nobody's gonna really be over here anyways, so yeah, it's probably fine. Froja, I'm so goated. Never knew. Julia, girls just want to have fun. Froja, nice. But yeah, we do have to watch out for this red area. It's all over the map. This is pollution. I did mention that one of our goals is to reduce and like clean up all the pollution on the map. And eventually we're gonna have robots that create pollution. So we're gonna have to really manage that, whether it's dumping it in this underground stockpile zone for a while until we can figure something out, or dumping it off our map. But we'll see from there. But let's get. WAF has plenty to mine. So far, this is looking good, honestly. Oh, there's. I want to make sure this. This is probably going too much in detail, but for a mountain, there's direct open area, and then this light green is like a thin roof, and this dark green is an overhead mountain. So eventually, once our wealth is high enough, it's already at 24,000, which isn't too high, but not too long ago it was at 17,000, so it's definitely growing. We're almost at day 4. But eventually you can get drop pod rated, which means they can land anywhere in your base that isn't an overhead mountain. So that's why I like mountain bases, because you can control where the drop pod raids will be. Even this light green area, they can come through that thin roof and be in your hallways in your mountain base. So I want to avoid that. Honestly, this open area is a blessing and a curse. I like having just a solid mountain that I don't have to worry about any of these like thin roof areas just for the drop pod raids. But having an open area is nice because it's protected for the most part from normal raids. And you can put solar panels. We might even be able to fit like a windmill here. So we can get a lot of very protected power from this small area. So that honestly will be pretty nice. See Duff with Julia is confirmed singing right now. Perfect. That's Rimworld gets everybody in a good mood, unless you're one of our colonists. Then they might be in a bad mood right now. But besides that, we're all just having fun. Okay, we should have enough potatoes. Our rice is almost grown, which is awesome. We only have 15 meals left, and I think we need to hunt the rest of these donkeys. And we need to... Ooh, yes, we got the cooler made. So now it's 74 degrees, 75 degrees. This is all connected though, so what I might do real quick is just build another wooden door right here so we can section off our main living area from where we're planning on expanding in the future. I'll put a door here so this can be by itself. Nice! Our first proper raid. They will prepare for a while and then attack. Let's see, it should only be one. He has grenades though. That is not ideal. Usually they just are melee to start, so... This is already a change from the normal lower difficulty setting that I normally do. But let's get people situated right now. I think I'm only going to draft Cduffo, Anubis, and Sway. And the hope is that Anubis and Sway shoot this raider before the raider gets to throw any grenades. If he does throw a grenade, then we can, recall people so they don't. It's pretty easy to manage if there's one person throwing a grenade. But yeah, for our first raid, we got one grenade thrower. So he's probably almost ready to attack. Where is he? Where is he? Where'd he go? Am I blind? Let me... Oh, I am blind. Okay, cool. 75 insect meat has rotted away. That's fine. Usually we just turn insect meat into biofuel, which is basically just gasoline. Eventually we'll have... Damn, Anubis, you are so slow. What's going on? Toxic buildup. Is that really the only reason why you're small? Oh, no, just because... Time's paused. Let's have Cduffo take... Oh, you guys are good shots. Jeez. He's probably going to throw a grenade at Cduffo. We'll have Cduffo just run out of the way. Cool. And we don't have the capacity or food to have a prisoner if we down him. We're probably going to kill this guy, because guns are more likely to kill somebody instead of down them than melee is, but he drops some medicine, which will be helpful. And honestly, grenades, sure, we'll take grenades. So we'll undraft these guys. Anubis will pick up medicine and hopefully the grenades at the same time. Nice. And bring them back to the colony. Since it looks like we'll be here for a while, Waff thinks that we should give the faction a name. What should the faction be called? We're gonna call it the Empire's. Oh, the faction. Never mind. Ooh, that is a good question. What the empire or what the faction should be. But Waff also thinks that we should give the settlement a name. So that should be Empire's Hollow because we want to do an Empire focused playthrough, which means anytime that we can help them, we're gonna do that. And they're just another faction that we can trade with and stuff. But eventually, Seeduffo will rise through the ranks and be our, I guess, liaison to the Empire. Get it together, Anubis. Nice. So a faction, let's just say the community. That's where our faction will be named because we're all from the community. Nice. Frosia is already harvesting some rice. What I wanted to mention before about pollution is if anybody stands in the pollution for a bit, then they're gonna get toxic buildup, which is fine. If toxic buildup gets to be above, I don't know what it is, like 40%, then they might get like cancer from it. So we want to make sure it does slowly go down. They just can't spend a ton of time in there. And honestly, they're probably spending a lot of time in Waff doesn't have any actually. I was gonna say this area is pretty polluted, so why are these donkeys rotting? Is it because they're in pollution? If so, that is not great, but fortunately we have rice. Alright, we should set up... I might just do like a... What do you guys think? Should we do... Usually I do a bunch of beds like right next to each other carved in the mountain. Should we do the starter beds like as individual little buildings outside, or should we all lump them into the safety of the mountain? Another raid? Jeez, Randy Random is throwing everything he has at us right now for such low wealth. Okay, this guy just has a knife. He has 0 skill in melee, so he probably won't do too much damage. Honestly, I think Seeduffo could 1v1, but I don't want to chance it. Seeduffo's really good at melee, so he could probably do it. Let's have Seeduffo and Anubis go out. And if Anubis lets Seeduffo get close enough, then Anubis is pretty slow. I think that's just me being dumb. For the Empire, for the community. Yes, we will do everything for the Empire. Okay, Anubis is going to start shooting. If this guy gets too close, then Seeduffo will start doing some melee action. Let's see how this goes. Anubis has missed every shot so far, but that's where Seeduffo gets in, and then let's check the log. Anubis bolt action rifle hit Dozrat. Nice. So team effort right there. Sweet. We got some silver from it too. Let's have... Okay, Seeduffo is very picky and will never do hauling, so that's... I guess that is what it is, Seeduffo. You know, can't ask the world of you. But let's get... There's also a free knife. That's a very bad knife, so I'm just going to leave that. And Anubis didn't want to haul that either, so I guess somebody will haul it eventually. Maybe if our dog gets trained, our dog will haul it, but that is still a ways away. Skeet, doing some research. Awesome. Seeduffo, you're adorable. You honestly are. Because you're a vampire, you can't die unless your brain gets destroyed. And basically you heal very, very quick. So even if you're about to bleed out, if you can just get patched up real quick, then within a handful of hours, you're basically going to have nothing wrong with you. Whose bed is that? Seeduffo? Seeduffo, where are you at? You're showering. Okay, cool. How's our water situation? Okay, we already have 1,000 liters. Water's probably going to be fine from now on. Unless there's a disease or something that gets introduced, which doesn't really happen that often. Zombie Seeduffo. Yeah, hopefully not. Vampire Seeduffo. He's gonna have to... I kind of forgot about this. We're gonna have to get a prisoner pretty quickly so Seeduffo can blood feed on them. He has Hemagen, this little indicator here. When it gets below 50%, then he's going to seek somebody out to stick his vampire fangs into and get some blood from to hold him over for a bit. Or if we can get some hemorrhagin packs that we can extract peacefully and with the consent of prisoners in the future, then yeah, we can. C Duff will be handled. If this hemorrhagin gets to 0, then I don't know exactly what will happen, but it's definitely not great. Yeah, he'll become very unhappy. So it's pretty manageable. If he needs to blood feed on somebody, then I'll put my neck out on the line for him. We'll have Waff do it. But Anubis, are you having a mechanator? Is it mechanator or a mechanator? I don't know which way it is. I always say mechanator, but yes, Anubis, you will actually be our mechanator. You have crazy crafting skill because your childhood you were a machinist. We love child labor here. Adult, you were a colony engineer, so you really have a lot going for crafting right there. And you're a hard worker, but you are a genie, which means that you're a wimp and delicate. But it just means you're really good at crafting. Waff is a dirt mole. These are kind of the different races in the game. So that means Waff is really good at mining. C Duffo is our vampire. Froja, I think. Oh, Skeet is also a genie. Froja, I think, is a baseline human, and Sway is also a baseline human. There wasn't any specific race for like planting and medical stuff, so I kept that the same. We did finish research on our battery, which is awesome. Let's see what we should do next. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we can research. Honestly, probably the next best thing is probably solar panels. We're gonna need some power. Ooh, we got drop pods of chem fuel. That'll boost our wealth a little bit, but honestly, chem fuel is good. We can probably get a generator to power us. But right away, I want to make sure we build at least one battery. Jeez, I'm running out of room quickly in here. That way, when the wind's not blowing, we can still cook. We can still have AC. Transport pod crash. Ooh, we're getting a whole bunch of stuff. So this is an independent person. We can chemical fascination, which isn't great. They can't fight, and they're incapable of dumb labor. So honestly, I'd pass up this person, but they might be just a good prisoner. Right now, Froja, you're gonna rescue them. They might choose to join our colony. Nope, I cannot. We cannot rescue them. We have to have a spot. We have to have a spot for prisoners. So let's have our prison in here. No, not medical for colonists. Nope, for prisoners. Undiscovered areas? What? Oh no, I'm being stupid. Froja. Oh, never mind. This person's from a faction. I thought it said Independent Space Alliance, but that is actually a faction, so we are not gonna... Why? Maybe it's saying we can't rescue them because there's no bed for them. So let's just do this real quick and see if that fixes it. This game's a little bit trial and error, even with 2,000 hours. Yeah, rescue. Here we go. Are they bleeding out? Bleeding out 16 hours. That's plenty of time. I think there's a mod to like follow people as they walk. But yeah, so Froja is going to rescue them since they're from a specific faction, and especially a faction that we want to become allies with in the future. We'll get some goodwill from that faction if we rescue their person, bring them back to good health, and they leave the map successfully. Sometimes I've had it where just as the person was about to leave the map successfully, a raid comes in and the raiders kill the person, and it's pretty sad. But that's the way it is. Psychic Soothe, all the males will be happier, and a lot of people don't have stuff to do, so let's... Waff's already been going crazy with the mining, so let's get some bedrooms made. And honestly, we can kind of ball out with these bedrooms. 4x7, I'd be pretty happy with 4x7. And Anubis, I know Anubis, how many hours do you have in this game? like 8,000. If you see I'm doing anything that's not super efficient, let me know. I Even though I have like 2,000 hours in the game, I know there's a whole bunch of stuff that I am still learning about the game because I kind of play in the same way every single time. That's why I like streaming this, because it forces me to try some different things and not reload every single time something bad happens. So these are purely just going to be bedrooms, and we're going to need even more. There might be a cave somewhere around here, so we'll see if we dig into that or if it's just a thin area right there. Honestly, I should have probably saved some of this space for a freezer, because we want a freezer to be as close as possible to where we're planting crops. I might make a separate section over here for that, so I'll probably reserve this area for that. And you want a hospital pretty close to where people are going to be fighting. So, yeah, I'm going to need to save some space for a freezer. It doesn't have to be huge. And also a hospital. So let's make sure that we remember that. Sorry, I still a lot to do, so I'm not looking at chat religiously, but you realize that I said durable, but you thought for a good second that I said C Duffo, you're adorable. I mean, you see C Duffo's face cam, right? And it's pretty adorable too. Just look at this. Look at this guy. Where is he? Look at him wandering around. Oh, he has nothing to do. That's why he's wandering around. I can't have that. Let's build some walls, some great walls, some limestone walls. We're gonna make the colonists pay for the walls. Anyways, yes, you say the second way. So, buzz at the choice. Love it. Thank you. Froja didn't want to rescue them anyways. I mean, twist your arm will do it. Nice. Yeah, we're healing them up. Froja's getting some good medical skills already. Quarter of a skill point. Nice. If you make a prison and delete the prison bed when there's a cell, they never escape because they don't know they're in jail with no bed. Like never. They don't throw a tantrum or anything to like a prison escape. 8K hours in Rimworld, that's crazy. Don't crit players, every run is fresh and new. Yeah, 2 runs are never the same. So that's honestly why I keep playing Rimworld and why I love it. And even if you get bored of the game, there's so many mods that you can add. Even if it's like a simple mod, like just adding one mod where it's a medieval playthrough, that completely changes the game. And it's just completely different. There's a whole bunch of like fantasy stuff that people do, like you can have dragons and stuff. I've never done that. Usually I like to keep it mostly realistic. But yeah, the truth comes out. Julia, you gotta watch her back. Skeet just got home. What's little Skeet doing? Little Skeet right now is going crazy constructing. He should honestly be researching. Or not researching. No, who's our number one? I think Skeet, you should be a researcher. But I think right now I'm prioritizing people not doing research. So I'm gonna have Skeet you set to, if there's anything to craft, like stone blocks or whatever, you'll do that first. Honestly, I'll have you research first because we have a lot of research to do. So you'll be busy doing that. Food. Right now, our food is pretty bad. We have 118 rice, which is not great. And we only have 11 meals. We're down to 8 survival meals. Our potatoes are 25% grown, so honestly, we're gonna have to rely on rice a bit more. Good thing about our rice is it's in this. This is like this overlay here is how fertile the soil is. So this bright green that you see is super fertile. It's, I think, yeah, 140%. The normal green is 100%, and this yellow is 70%. So you want to make sure that if you have any close, like bright green, that you plant in that. So that's what we're doing with the rice and our heel root. I'll probably move our heel root off of that. But it doesn't matter too much. It's just if you're trying to optimize, it's the way to do it. You can see that there's some bright green patches all the way out here, but we probably won't tap into that unless we get like Devil Strand in the future. Just because it's so far away, I don't want our colonists having to lug stuff back and forth, especially crops, because we're gonna have thousands of crops at some point. And it's going to be a lot of hauling. We will have robots. Anubis will make us some robots to haul for us. But yeah. So yeah, Ski, you're going to be subject to a lot of research. Right now we're researching solar panels, so that'll be good. Anubis, nope, just make sure they have food and you can still convert them without prison bed. I honestly didn't know that. That is good. I don't know if you like who you watch on YouTube for Rimworld, Anubis, but Newbert I love watching, and just seeing how like Newbert and other people play, especially when it's like max difficulty, 500%, like no pause, whatever it is, they go for a certain like speed or on a certain wind condition, and it's crazy, like the absolute meta stuff to do if you're trying to speed run, and it's like that doesn't seem fun to me. Maybe at some point we'll try it. I don't think I'm at that point yet. I just have fun with the game. I love this game. I can play it every single day. You want a hauler bot called Phil Collins? Phil Collins? Well, at least we have a little bit of a prison. I didn't actually want this roofed, but that's okay. I'm not barking about that yet, so. Wood is under 100 right now. We will probably have to research how to grow trees so we can grow some wood. But yeah. Yeah, Anubis, remind me about naming the hauler bot. That's still a ways away. I don't want to get into that yet. Probably not this stream. Or definitely not this stream. Maybe next stream. But yeah, at some point we'll have to do that. Alright, temperature, let's get some vents in these bedrooms. These bedrooms are gonna look awful. But if nobody has, or if anyone doesn't have anything to do, then they can smooth these walls. Right now you can see that for beauty, each of these walls are -1, and once Frosia's done smoothing it out, we'll see what it turns into. These are marble, I think? Yeah, marble. So honestly, marble's a really good thing to have for a wall. I think it might be +1 or +2 beauty. Beauty is not really super important, but it is important. You can see there is a need for it. There's different marks here. If a room is beautiful enough, then in general their mood will go up too. So we're gonna want to make sure that we have rooms that are beautiful. Yeah, so a smooth marble wall is 2 beauty compared to -1 for an unsmooth wall. And I think the same goes for floor if we smooth the marble floor. Usually I like to do flooring, but honestly smoothing the marble floor might be the way to go. Nubis, I don't know if you do that as well. If you have a marble mountain, if you smooth the marble floor instead. It's probably the same as like carpet, honestly. You can see the future. Yeah, Anubis, I want you to make predictions. If it doesn't come true, that means I'm not playing optimally. Alright, let's move this out a little bit so we can finish the wall there. Same with that. I know there's a little bit of speed boost from these being outside, but for now, that's fine. You're all cosmetics? I am 0 cosmetics, so this'll be good. I do have a mod for, where is it? For props. So it has all different categories for like vaults. It has all these, and it just costs silver to build these things, and they're completely non-functional. But I think they're gonna add a lot to the areas such as like kitchen, you know, microwave, oven, pots and pans, cleavers, other stuff to put in there. So I want to go crazy with props, which means I'm gonna have to build our rooms way bigger than what I normally do. So that's not going to be efficient. The room sizes will not be efficient at all. But that's the way it is. So I might do that off stream, is building props eventually in the rooms and making them look really good. The pain in the jeez. The pain in the butt thing is I'm gonna want to play this like all the time, but I'm gonna make sure not to do any progress, like not have time go forward when I'm not streaming. I'll purely just do cosmetic stuff off stream, and I'm gonna have to hold myself to that. But yeah, if you guys are having fun watching this, it's a pretty chill game. It's nice just to relax and play this game, occasionally get raided. We're already at 28,000 wealth and it's almost day 7, so we're chilling. It is a permanent summer here. Let's see what the temperature on average will be. So it ranges from 68 degrees to 95 degrees, so we aren't going to really have to worry about winter and crops freezing, which is nice. Honestly, I kind of wish I'd picked a tile that wasn't that way, but I wanted to make sure I picked a tile that had pollution on it, which this one has a little bit, and also was a hollow, which means basically it's really like inside a mountain with cliffs surrounding it. And I also wanted to make sure that there was a stockpile in it. So those are hard criteria to meet. But I wanted to have a stockpile because I want to do some fun stuff with that. Whether it's just toss a lot of our pollution down there initially and turn it into like a mechanator layer down there where we're just pumping out components and advanced components and robots and stuff, or something else. Maybe we can hide a lot of wealth down there so our raids don't get super huge. So you're saying Randy is being kind to me? We already got raided twice. We had another vulture attack, and we had, I mean, the first insects attacking us was my fault. I wasn't paying attention. I think people were probably like swimming in the water and got too close. So there's a lot that already happened. Are you thinking of burn tunnel or close combat blocker? Burn tunnel? Are you saying for like a kill box eventually to take care of the raids? Or close combat blocker? I imagine by close combat blocker you mean like one entrance and we have one super armored up person who's blocking any raiders from coming in and everybody else can kind of shoot past them and that kind of thing. Or burn. I've never done a burn tunnel before. I think I might have done it once before, but I just hate the manual upkeep of like late game raids, which is why I have a vault mod, which requires almost 13,000 research. To put in perspective, we've only researched one thing and it was batteries, and that was only 400 research. So it takes a while to research vault walls, and I think each wall costs 50 steel and 10 devil strand, so they're pretty expensive to make. But instead of a wall having 450 hit points, it has like 100,000, so they're pretty much indestructible. I do like having those. It is kind of cheap, so I don't know if I'll use it for this playthrough. We'll see. I want the playthrough to last a while, so I want to make sure that the raids don't get to a point where we have a ton of wealth, and I want to keep that wealth because I want to make stuff look nice, or I want to have, functional colonists. I want to make sure that, if the raids get to a point where it's hindering the kind of playthrough that I want, then I might just throw up a huge vault wall and call that done and dusted. Right now I'm just setting a home zone, so eventually when we expand into the mountain, we will basically have everybody, cleaning and that kind of thing. We have mad rats, so that means there's multiple. There's one right there. Am I blind? Where's the other? And the other is right there. They are attacking right away. So this will probably, I just want to be safe. I know C Duffo can probably handle it. Yeah, let's C Duffo Anubis. Let's have you guys go right there. There's nobody swimming in the pond. Cool. So these guys should be hit first. C Duffo will be in front of Anubis. And Anubis, let me know any fighting tricks that you have, because I absolutely hate fighting. I know you can like kite somebody around. That was easy. Jeez. And we can butcher those rats and turn them into stew. We only have 6 meals right now. Jeez. Okay. I need to expand our rice. This is maybe not great. Yeah, let's do this for now. I don't love how this is, but feeding 6 people is honestly throws me off my rhythm a little bit. I'm certainly not used to that. Let's just be sure on food you can never have too much, because if you have too much you can turn it to chem fuel. But yeah, kill box on block tunnels are great. Mechanator, Inferno mechs are great for burn boxes. Unlimited fire takes 3 of them. Assault rifles fire. and move fire. I'm hearing a lot of fire, which will not be good for Seeduffo, who's a vampire, and he does not like fire. What's your go-to ranged weapon? For me, it's just assault rifles, just because they're 3-round burst, and even somebody who's really bad at shooting can occasionally get a shot on, which sometimes is all you need. Nice, we completely smoothed out this whole entire area here. Let's do the same for all of these. My building is falling by the wayside right now. Doing too much talking, which isn't a bad thing. But I need to get people some proper rooms here. And I need a place for us to put our stone. Large stone pile. What do we have a lot of? Probably limestone, right? Let's put that right there for now. I know this isn't ideal, but it is what it is. Let me expand this area a little bit. Sure. Because I think we need 400 to build this. Oh, 180, that's actually not bad. Okay, cool. Our storage is already overflowing. We still have plenty of steel, so let's do that. I know this isn't great looking, but that's okay. Mono swords, shield belts, yes. I do have a mod for ranged shield belts, which means that you can shoot through the shield belts. Normal shield belts, normal vanilla shield belts is basically just a force field that you can wear around you. If you watch like the Dune series, it's kind of like that, or I guess the Dune movie. But yeah, normal vanilla shield belts usually you can only have on melee people because you can't shoot out of them. But the mod for ranged shield belts, yeah, you can shoot out of them, which I like. That's the break that I give myself for not loving combat in this game. Is just more survivability. Monos, yeah, okay, yeah. And I don't move my people around a lot. Maybe that's something I can try to do better. Is have one person running around taking some of the hits, kind of thing, while everybody else shoots at them and is in safety. But yeah, not too bad. We're almost at day 8, almost 30,000 wealth. Let's get some proper beds made. We can do some nice marble beds. Our construction people are going to be busy for a little bit, but that's good because they haven't had much to do for a while. And we do have a decent amount of construction people. Waff can do it, Anubis, Frosia, and Skeet. And we're all like level 10 and up, which is kind of OP. I should have probably made it a little bit harder for us, but that's okay. Alright. Anubis, I might need your help too since I'm streaming, I'm not like completely dialed into what needs to get done next. So let me know if you see anything obvious. Obviously, food right now is a problem. So let's have Anubis do some hunting. Honestly, we're gonna need it. Let's set Skeet. No, Sway has the other gun, so let's also set Sway to hunt. But I want him to hunt after he cooks. Seeduffo, what are you doing? You got stuff to construct. Oh, you don't do construction. What can you do? Are you just gonna... I don't want you wandering around aimlessly. What about research? You can do research. We don't have anything to research. Okay, cool. Let's do, honestly... I'd hate to do this so early, but... Tree song. We're gonna need wood. Trees take a while. You're no pro, but loving my style. That means a lot. Appreciate it. I was like sweating over. I am actually sweating. It is 78 degrees in my room right now. I should open my door. I had my AC on for a bit, but I'm gonna start to have a negative moodle from it being warm in my room. And oh, you know one thing that we're missing? We are missing a table. Speaking about negative moodles, there's like a meme for anybody who like plays Rimworld a lot that colonists, if they don't eat at a table, they will like burn down the colony. And like sometimes there's a chance that can happen. If that's what sets them over the edge on a mental break, then their mental break could be catching stuff on fire. And if you made your base out of wood, then everything's gonna burn if you don't tackle that real quick. So let's get a I'd love to do like a proper dining area, but let's toss one outside. So if we have people farming, then they have a place to eat that isn't all the way in the mountain that they have to get back to. Because eventually we're gonna have a nice dining hall, a nice recreation area, a nice hospital. We're gonna have dedicated rooms. And that pop-up was just for this ancient mech, Anubis, on the hunt. Ooh, there's some steel out here. Excellent. 350, that's not bad at all. Nice, that sounded like a kill. How much meat are gazelles? I think it's like 130 or something. Oh, not even that. 98, that's not much. And Anubis, don't make fun of me. It's been a while since I checked this because it's never a problem, but it is a problem now. I think the 4 times cook meals is 40 like vegetables or 40 meat. So that means 10 vegetables or meat per meal, which means each gazelle is just about 10 meals. So each gazelle can almost hold over our colony for a day. So that's how quickly we're burning through food. What I should do is set this up right away so we cook fine meals instead of just simple meals, because fine meals require both meat and vegetarian, where simple meals only require one or the other. And fine meals give, what is it, like +5 mood buff. Simple meals don't give any mood buff. So if you can cook fine meals, if you have meat and vegetables, then you definitely want to cook them. For now, I'm not too worried about that because I'm just trying to get any and all meals cooked. We should make a freezer right from the start, but we will have to, since we have Dub's bad hygiene, we will have to research air conditioning so then we can make a freezer. I know I've already kind of cheated and put a cooler right here. We're gonna fix that eventually, and this is like the vanilla cooler, and technically we should have like an air conditioner and air pipes and stuff, refrigerant pipes. But for now, this is it's hot out. We need an AC. 7K hours was on pause. I know. I wonder how many hours I actually have on pause. Like almost 2,000. Probably like honestly 150 hours. I'd say 7% of my time is on a. Actually, no, maybe probably less. Probably like 4% of my time is like I'm going to the bathroom and pause the game or whatever. Still, if you're gonna lurk, much appreciated. Thanks for the raid. I that's awesome. Especially on the first playthrough. Low hemorrhage. Sorry, I got like squirrel brain right now, jumping all around, playing some Outlast Trials. Nice. Yes, see you around. C-Duffo needs some hemorrhaging, so let's okay, can't use it. Blood feed okay, Colonists, good. We'll have C-Duffo blood feed on me, and honestly, Anubis, I know you're a champ, so blood feed on, honestly, just blood feed on everybody. There we go, we're at 73 out of 100, that's good for a bit. We do need a prisoner or a couple prisoners eventually to handle C-Duffo's hemorrhaging needs. But we'll get there when we get there. Let's also set this to critical because I want the meat and everything on meat hook so you can visibly see that it's all right there. And eventually, once we have enough animal hides, let's make a chair for Skeet to sit on while he does some research. Can't wait for the first summary. Yeah, it's I'm excited. I'm excited for this playthrough. I'd love to get this entire wall smooth before I put power up here. I don't know if that's just a me thing. Honestly, I shouldn't smooth this. What am I doing? Anyways, if you do a mountain base, do you how big are your hallways? Do you do 2 wide, 3 wide? Sometimes I do 3 wide for like the main corridors, but like I understand 2 wide or 1 wide is good for if you get like insects in there. Froja, catch up on the summary as well. W most likely watch the VOD as well. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to do this series in a way that it's consistent, and also so it's easy to catch up. Like if you don't have time to watch a VOD on a stream that you missed, you can just look at the Discord, read through the summary, and be all caught up and not feel like you're completely missing out on everything that's happening. Because that's the worst. You miss a stream or two or three, and you tune in and everything's changed. Yeah, you see the progress, but we might have a couple prisoners, whatever. So I'll put that summary after every stream in the Discord, and yeah, hopefully it's engaging. Hopefully it's fun. Let me know if you have any suggestions. But 3 wide for bugs. 3 wide for bugs? I would think like smaller for bugs, but I'd want like the most like ability to walk. But I do like 3 wide. 3 wide on the main like corridors, I think will be the play. Let's just get that done. And I do want to do more test mining to make sure to see, honestly, just see what we have. Let's do another test mine right here. And I remind me as I go along to make the rooms bigger than I normally would. Because I'm gonna forget that, and I'm gonna have like the dedicated kitchen area, and it's gonna be tiny. 2 looks better, and enough 1 means pawns. Yeah, I don't want them to be slowed down passing each other. So I like the 3 for main hallways and maybe 2 for the extremity hallways. Yeah, we'll go from there. Still haven't built this. That means we don't have enough limestone. Anubis is doing some crafting. Cduffo is doing some research. Sway is doing some cooking. Yeah, I don't want people to starve, but honestly, I haven't been paying attention too much to that, and people are probably starving a little bit. But we got another haul of rice, so we're chilling there. If we really needed, we could harvest our potatoes early, but I think soon enough we're going to be chilling on food. And since there isn't a winter that will freeze our crops, we're going to be fine on food for a bit. It's just getting through the initial whatever. I think this opened up, right? I hate how this is thin roof. I hate building a mountain base with thin roof, but that just will add to the story at some point once we get drop pod rated. 13 by 13 is average size for workrooms, but 3 by 3 for bedrooms. 3 by 3, that's it for bedrooms? With 1 gold tile? Is that that's the meta? Do you do the gold tile in like a corner area in between the rooms? Does that do anything? Because I feel like I've seen either like a gold floor or gold wall in like the corners. I don't know if that technically gets added to the room's wealth, but I've seen that done before. I don't know if that was done for a joke to like get people to do it who don't know anything about it, or if it's like intentionally done. Let's how are we on meat? Meat's fine. We don't have any more animals. Let's go hunting again. Just be good for meat. It'll be good for leather so we can make chairs. We already made this chair. I'm actually kind of surprised on that. So we're doing a lot of marble. Okay. Is this 50 limestone blocks? We should be able to build that right away. Froja, I might... Okay, you're already doing it. Never mind. I was about to tell you, Froja, to build the stockpile for all our stone blocks and stone bricks and stuff, but I didn't have to. You're already doing it. Perfect. And since Cduffo is a vampire, I think it's fitting to set his sleep schedule so he sleeps during the daytime a little bit. What is it? 8 hours? 2, 4, 6, 8. Cool. And I think Cduffo does have sensitivity to light. Where is it? Mild UV sensitivity. Okay, it's mild, so it's not bad. But he can get sun sickness, which shouldn't really be a problem, but we'll set him to sleep when everybody else is out and about, and work when everybody else is sleeping. We will probably need more bathrooms and stuff. This person that we rescued should be almost fully tended, so that's cool. They should walk off of our map real quick, and we haven't been raided in a little bit, so hopefully they don't immediately get murked by just raid coming in, and we don't get the extra goodwill from the faction. And if you're new to Rimworld, you can see here in this middle for all these factions is how much goodwill we have. You can increase it by like gifting them stuff or just trading with them or doing quests and stuff for them, which reminds me, I want to make sure that the quests that we do not give goodwill, because there's so many ways to get goodwill. I just want to avoid it, honestly. Yep. Zap, what's going on? We are in our first Rimworld playthrough of this playthrough series. Basically, what we're doing is focusing on being loyal to the Empire. There's a faction called the Empire. It's kind of exactly how it sounds. They have a whole rank system, so you can get different titles: freeholder, novice, acolyte, knight, and so on. Right now, we're gonna have C. Duffo be our main Empire liaison. So whenever we get a quest where the Empire needs help or whatever, as long as it makes sense for us to do and we can do it without too much damage or detriment to ourselves as a colony, then we'll accept it. We're going to try to help the Empire as much as we can. That being said, we also want to build just a massive mountain fortress. We also want to focus on genetics. I haven't really dabbled much with genetics. I know it can be pretty powerful, especially if you have a mix of different races, such as, you know, vampire, you have a dirt mole, you have genie, and each of those races have different genes. And I know you can randomly, every, I don't know, 10 days or so, put them in a machine and it randomly picks one of their genes. So you might get one that doesn't matter at all, like no hair, beardless, thin body, but you might get a really good one like elongated fingers, which means that they can complete tasks 10% faster. It comes at the cost of you know, them eating more, or you can balance out that with, you know, genes that aren't good. But basically, in short, I want to focus on genes a little bit because I just haven't done much of that, and I know it can be powerful. And if we're doing a playthrough that will last a while, it'll be good to dabble in that. And I also want to eventually, once our colony is set up, probably once we get to the point of making advanced components, having that researched, I also want to dabble with Anomaly, which is kind of like the horror part of the game. So that'll be cool. And I just want to have a long running story with a handful of people from C. Duffo's community, from the community center, people that we've been working with in Project Zomboid at the community center. That'll be pretty cool. So once we get prisoners and we recruit them, we can start adding more people as well. But they won't be like customized. Where Chef Sway Boyardee, whatever, he's our cook. Frosia takes care of anything medical or plants related, and some construction in there. C. Duffo is the melee master. He's just going to town. Also good at social, you know, comes natural with being a streamer. Anubis is our crafter, going crazy crafting. Although there aren't sledgehammers in this game, there are Zeus hammers. A whole bunch of fun stuff, so he'll take care of that. I'm just a minor, construction and medical as well. So we have a very good team of colonists right now. Honestly, it's kind of OP for a start. But yeah, Anubis, you always inject your prisoners with dead calm gene. They obey. Use prisoners can work, and then they do your donkey work happily. I didn't know there was a calm gene. That is pretty helpful for prisoners, it seems like. But yeah, and also I want our prisoners, once we eventually have dedicated prisoners, to be from a certain race, not just baseline prisoners, so then we can consistently get their genes and make a good gene vault there. Alright, let's get, I know people have been busy for some time, but eventually these walls will have to get smoothed. And that will keep all of our construction people busy for a bit. We do have these bedrooms which are starting to pop up. Let's get some end tables. It's not a bedroom if you don't have a little end table. And honestly, I'm going to cancel all that because we do have nutrient paste expanded, which means we can eventually hook up nutrient paste and while people sleep, they can also get fed. So I'm gonna offset the end tables here a little bit. It does give them a mood debuff, but honestly, it's worth it. At the point when you have a pretty established colony, it's not a bad thing. Let's just put our Shresters here. Get that going. We're gonna need some lights in the bedrooms. So we're gonna add some lights here. Oops, that one's not perfectly where it should be, but that's okay, whatever. Don't have to go too crazy with it. And honestly, I might not smooth out the floors now. But you can see this bedroom with all the walls smoothed out has overall impressiveness of 39. And that'll go up when we build like dresser, night table, and also smooth the floors. But compared to one that doesn't have all the walls smooth and has some debris in there, this is negative 31. So they are pretty different. Anubis, you've been putting in some work, so let's give you the first actual bedroom. Enjoy. You'll be happy with Plasteel Warhammer. Nice. Zap, nice. You know, a little bit more now because of foe, but he hasn't done anomaly yet. Yeah, honestly, I haven't done much anomaly either. Anomaly's pretty foreign to me. Where is our... No, I thought that was it for a second. That's actually a pretty good spot for it, but I think it's it's way out here. So that's not the best spot. We're gonna have to maybe wall off this entire area. Maybe there's 3 steam geysers right there, so maybe get some of those as well. Okay, Death Rest. Honestly, we might have to research that. C. Duffo's almost halfway to needing a Death Rest. Because he's a vampire, he needs to rest every like 30 days or so, otherwise he gets pretty pissed off. And it takes him 3 to 4 days to Death Rest, so you can wake him up mid-Death Rest if you really need him for defense, but he'll be hindered. I think movement speed and handling speed is all wrong. Let's try to also set up a freezer. I don't like how there's a thin roof right here. Honestly, that really stinks. It probably would have been better putting our freezer over here where it's the overhead roof. Anubis, do you know if thin roof leaks out cold air faster than overhead mountain? Because if so, then I'm going to make sure that our freezer is in a place where there's an overhead mountain instead of a thin roof. I assume it does, but I don't know for sure. Your dead prisoners are your prisoners' nutrient paste meals main additive. Yeah, I don't know how many war crimes we're going to commit in this playthrough. Definitely some. Ooh, yes. Our dog is hauling right now. Honestly, Zap, since you're in chat right now, we're gonna name our dog Zappy. Nice. So we have a new dog, or we have the same dog, but now named Zappy after Zap in chat. Cool. Okay, so we are going to town making a bunch of blocks. We do have our block storage. Anubis, anything that I am missing that's simple other than getting going on a freezer? You always use overhead thick roof for raid drops that spoil all good broken roofs. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like picking maps that don't have caves, because if they have caves, then it's increased chance for just random areas to pop up. It looks like this might be a solid mountain over here. We're gonna find out, I guess. But Waff is doing the Lord's work, doing test holes here. That's all that these are, just to make sure the mountain is solid. Honestly, could use... I wouldn't be unhappy with a test mining over here. Let's get Waff to prioritize that. C. Duffo doesn't have anything to do. But there's a whole bunch of hauling people can do. Unfortunately, C. Duffo is incapable of dumb labor, so he can't haul. So when he has nothing left to do, he... I don't know, he kind of won't do anything. But that's the way it will be. If you need me to zoom in because sometimes I play like zoomed out like this. Just reminded me to zoom in. I lose track of that. I'll try to get better at that. All right, let's connect our base a little bit. And get finally some power into the mountain. Let's get some lights going in the hallway. Cool. We won't connect these for a little bit, but I like to set them and forget them, just putting lights in the hallway. Good for now. Ooh, no. This is open. Ah. Oh, that looks like it opens up even more too. I don't even know if I want to risk opening that. To be like this big, massive... That stinks. That honestly stinks. Let's put a limestone door there and seal that off. So honestly, it's going to hurt me efficiency-wise because there's no really good spot to put a freezer that's close to all our crops. C-Duff, are you talking crap about me? No. You just are incapable of doing dumb labor. Which is honestly fine, because you're going to need to charge up, since you'll be a royal dude. You're going to have psi focus, so you're going to have to spend time charging that up and whatever, whole like death rest or whatever. I also forgot that you don't need as much sleep as everybody because you're a vampire. That's kind of what the death rest is for, so find plenty of chunks to haul, that's for sure. Where's Ancient Danger? You found one yet? Honestly, I never really tap into the Ancient Dangers. I haven't formally found one. I haven't had the notification pop up. I don't see one right away, so it's somewhere buried in the mountain. So we're gonna run into that eventually. Yeah. Okay. I guess we'll run in. We're gonna have to do some mining to find it. But yeah, Ancient Dangers. There's usually a walled-in, I don't know, building somewhere on the map that always spawns in the map. And there can be a variety of things in it, whether it's a whole bunch of insects. Once you break down the wall, then you'll get flooded with insects that you'll have to deal with. Or there might be cryo sleep caskets, and there could be friendly people in those, or there could be heavily armored, heavily armed raiders in it, basically people who are hostile, who you have to dispose of or transfer into a new occupation within the colony. Yeah, freezer. Where are we gonna put the freezer? But there's usually some good goodies in there. Honestly, I'm thinking maybe we put the freezer over here. I know it's a far ways away from the main entrance, but we could do like another entrance over here. I don't know. That's still not ideal, honestly. Or maybe if this is open, I could put it right there. Because eventually we're going to want hydroponics, and I want that to also be close to the food. So let's see. Let's see, Duffo, if this is available. Everybody's moods, just looking at their bars, these blue bars, that's how high their mood is. So everybody's around 90% or more. So that's actually really good. We're doing good there. We're slowly running out of fine meals, which means we need to do some hunting. Holy crap, there's a lot of gazelles. I don't want to hunt too many of them because their meat's probably going to rot before we can cook it into something, but yeah, honestly, we can probably turn off as many simple meals because those are just going to rot because people are going to eat fine meals. So that's fine. Our water is basically full. We're chilling on that, so that's not an issue. Food. Our food situation is slowly getting better. We have 500 potatoes in stock. I think I'm going to unallow sowing the rice fields after this next harvest and put either corn or potatoes in them, and then maybe some more cotton. And maybe a variety of other things. Animal pod crash. Let's see what it is. What is it? A sea lion. If it was like a mole that can do some mining for us, if we train it up, then cool. I'll take that. But if not, then I have no interest in a sea lion. Anubis, you're not sure you need the map wealth from goods inside adding to raid points yet? Yeah, I definitely don't want to open up the I don't want to open up any ancient dangers to get super valuable stuff in it if we are not ready to manage that wealth. Basically, the rule of thumb, if you're new to RimWorld, is you want to build up your defenses in proportion to your wealth, and you want a good chunk of your wealth to be invested in defenses. Whether that's like a wall just to be built at the beginning to buy yourself some time. They'll break down the wall, but you can get everybody organized and ready for them to do that. That's an option. Um, you can have research turrets and build some turrets, and there's a whole bunch of defensive stuff that you can build. You can just get armor for everybody, which is huge. Um, that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's also mine out all of this steel, and let's see. So this is all in the mountain where I want to make a freezer. Anubis, how thick do you make your freezer walls? Too thick is usually what I do. Um, oh great. Area revealed. That is not what I wanted. Oh, and it connects to the outside edge of the map. Oh. Oh. Normally I would save scum over that. I would reload an old save and never mine over here again. That takes out a lot of space that I kind of wanted to do stuff with. Yeah, these caves are awful. I will not save scum over that, but I will cancel that mining, and I will put a limestone door here and call that good for now. If we do get raiders that come in here, then we'll have to deal with that. And we're going to need a long-term solution for that, maybe by putting vault walls here and connecting this to over here. I don't know yet. We're going to have to figure that one out. Too thick freezer walls, yeah, bang on, cool. Since you are on a hot map, you would install an airlock before the freezer to limit cold loss. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Okay, let's build out a freezer here. I do have mods for. Sorry, I gotta use all my brain cells right here. I do have mods for. I'm really using all my brain cells. Jeez. One more time. I do have mods for storage, so we can research more dense storage. Usually in vanilla, you're limited to just a normal shelf, which holds 3 items per tile, where this steel double shelf, or whatever double shelf, can hold 10 items per tile. So people might think that's a little cheap. Honestly, it's quality of life for me. Like, I don't want to spend the majority of my colony just building shelves. I want rooms to look somewhat realistic with how much stuff they have in. So let me know if you you disagree with that, but that's kind of my thinking. I'd rather just have a room that isn't just a giant. I still have rooms that are giant warehouses, but now it's a bit more controlled. I don't need the freezer to be huge, but if I want to do decorations such as, let's see, furniture, build props, kitchen. Yeah, we can do a whole bunch of fun stuff for kitchen. Filth. Oh, we can add some bones and stuff. Nice. Plants, exotic, mechanoid, insect, ancient, anomaly. Ooh, I wonder what anomaly looks like. Some void stuff. That's kind of cool. Walls. You can do fake walls, really. Just build a wall. Structures. Ooh, fake stairs. That could be cool for the bedrooms. Remind me about that. That might be cool. I don't know if there's anything specifically for a freezer, but we could toss in some of this stuff. It'd be fun to add some of it. So we'll mine this out, see if there's any exposed area. Have to stay on top of that. Waff is gonna go crazy digging this out right now. You use the same mod as well, Anubis. Nice. Yeah, it's quality of life at that point. Alright, I just want to keep this overlay on to show where our roof is, and if I see a bright green area pop up where Waff is mining, then I'm gonna forbid him from mining there. I want to make sure that our freezer area is completely a freezer area. And honestly, I'm gonna try not to make stuff look like rectangles. I'll add a little bit of variety here. Eventually, I'm gonna have pipe networks and do nutrient paste. And honestly, we should probably set that up sooner than later, just so we have some sort of food to fall back on. But that will go in the freezer. We'll talk about that once it's happening. Okay, so far so good. Sway is doing some cleaning. Thanks, Sway. Disturbing vision. Anubis had a strange dream. He's drawn to the monolith, so he wants to investigate the monolith. We aren't gonna do anything with the monolith anytime soon, so we're gonna put that on hold. Honestly, we might go to Dub's Bad Hygiene and research air conditioning so we can do a freezer the proper way. And luckily, we do have an outside area here. Simple meal is rotted away. That's honestly expected. This is why we're building freezers, so that doesn't happen. I might designate remove roof area and just remove the roof out here. That way we can pump hot air out here. How's our steel? We have 600 steel and we have a trader. So let's have CDuffo do some trading. Right now, ooh, chocolate could be good. We have plenty of components. I made sure of that, I guess. We can sell some bird skin, light leather, plain leather. You can sell some light leather, whatever. Get some extra silver coming our way. We do have some cotton, actually. Or some cloth. That's actually pretty good. For now, we can sell some chem fuel, get some silver. Get our boys some beer. One singular beer. Can fight over who gets that. Yeah. Should be good. I could buy some steel, honestly. We're gonna blow through steel pretty quickly. Let me know, Anubis, if you agree with that. If you ever buy steel early game, usually I buy components, but we're okay for now. I know we'll blow through it, but I just heard the duck quack, and that's like the same quack sound that's used in Discord, and I have a friend who quacks on Discord, and I thought that was him for some reason. But cool. If you're just joining, welcome. This is our first stream of this new playthrough. If you haven't joined the Discord, then feel free to join the Discord if you miss a stream, if you want to tune in at some point, or if you don't want to watch every single stream. I get it. People are busy. We're all busy. In the Discord, I will be posting summarized notes of what each stream is, like what happens in each stream. One will be more of like a story version, and the other will be very concise. Since we're trying to do everything we can for the Empire, the version in Discord summary that's concise will kind of have like a Imperial log view to it. So it's gonna have dry Imperial humor in it. I'm gonna have some fun with it. So that's why that will be the concise version, which I think kind of fits in with our story as well. It's separate from the actual story that's going on and the details around that, but it's still, it's written from the point of view from some Imperial noble who's keeping tabs on our colony and everything that's important to them, which is really just the high level stuff. So I'm gonna have fun with that. Anubis, ABC, always buy components. Yeah. Do you even buy advanced components, or once you have the means to craft advanced components, do you just stick with that? See, it says your wife made ribs, mashed potatoes, and mixed veggies, but you always forget to take a picture. You gotta upload that to the CDuffo Discord there. I should add a food area to my Discord too. All right, so this is our freezer. I think we're gonna do. Oh, I should have left this 3 here so we can do an airlock. I think we're gonna do what Anubis suggested and put a little airlock here. We don't have auto doors right now, but we're gonna use wooden doors. And this will be kind of an airlock to keep the cool air in. And yeah. So CDuffo, how close are you to death rest? Not very close, so we don't have to worry about that yet. The bedrooms are honestly coming along. Even the crappy ones are probably better than the barracks that we have. Actually, these barracks are pretty good. So with the furniture, this went from a 39 to a 43 for overall impressiveness. So I maybe could have made these a little bit bigger. What I might do in the future is add a bathroom to each bedroom, and that will help things a bit too. And when we smooth out the floor, that'll also help. It seems like somebody's been going around cleaning, so that's good. It's good having a nice, tidy, clean area, especially if this whole entire room here is considered our kitchen, because that does impact how often. I think it impacts how often food poisoning can happen. But Chef Sway is pretty good at cooking, so we shouldn't have any food poisoning from that. Since this is all harvested, let's do some potatoes there. I want to change these potatoes to corn eventually, so let's unallow that. And I want a lot of cotton initially, so let's get some cotton going over in this field since everybody's already harvesting this. The dog's doing some hauling. God, the tank is clean. Today's the day. The tank is clean. These guys have left a gift, Glitter World medicine. That's nice of them. Nice. Honestly, I never prioritize using Glitter World medicine. It's the best medicine in the game, and I just forget I have it. Usually I save it for when I need it, and then when I need it, I forget that I need it because I'm trying to rush to save somebody. Anubis says, if I can survive max raid points and cap it, then you go nuts making huge colony. Yeah. That's why I play on lower difficulty, because I don't want to deal with the fighting so much. I just want to build a nice, good functioning colony. And I think for this playthrough, I know that I have all the DLCs and we can do like graph ship and stuff, but honestly, I'm going to try to keep it focused on this one map, this one colony. Yeah, we might venture out and do some quests, but that will probably be on a shuttle. And we might have a second colony, but maybe just for something specific, whether it's to make like a really cool vault. Eventually, I want to build a vault in the mountain and just have a place that we can fall back to if we really need it. But yeah. All right, so our construction people have a lot to do, honestly. Who's our main construction guy? I think everybody's kind of can do construction. Honestly, if Seeduffle has nothing to do, he can do some construction. Anubis is always busy. Waff is busy mining, so once I'm done mining, then I will do construction. So that's fine. Frosia, if she doesn't have any plants to cut, then she will do some construction. Skeet will do construction only after. Yeah, Skeet's going to be busy forever, basically. Just doing research. And if not research, then crafting. Same with Anubis, kind of. And then Skeet will construct, so that will take a while. Sway will grow, and then cook, and then focus on cleaning after that. It is really nice having a pet that can do some hauling. It's honestly huge. That's like super nice, especially early game. If you have somebody, okay, we're gonna need more power. It seems like. I guess all the lights that I've been putting in can't keep up. We could just turn off our stove for a little bit and charge up the battery, but we researched solar, so let's get at least one solar array out here somewhere doing something. Usually I like to pair up the windmills with solar, but windmills with crops near them as well is also not a bad thing. Since this is a tight spot, let's put a solar panel here and get our power connected to that, and that will honestly help a ton. I was saying always try to grow slowly and match raid points. Yeah, I'm pretty confident. We have a lot of manpower right now, even though people don't have many weapons. Nobody's turning this off. We have Sway. Can you just turn that off? Nice. We don't have many. We don't have many meals. That is not because of a lack of meat. So honestly, maybe we should turn that on. I think it was because the power was messing stuff up. Oh, we have a wall here. Yep, that will do it. that is why our power is messed up. Okay, Duffo, Frosia, prioritize making that and the conduit. And then, honestly, just for now, we can deconstruct this. That's probably fine. Skeet says, construction workers rank as the happiest profession in America, by the way. Nice. Yeah, everybody here is pretty happy. WAF is our most unhappy, and that's because mediocre barracks, disturbed sleep, and unsightly environment. So WAF is doing a lot of mining, so it makes a lot of debris, and this is honestly pretty ugly, so that checks out. But let's get Frosia, you've been putting in work. Let's reassign you to your own bedroom. Let's have, I mean, Duffo deserves a bedroom. Let's have, I think Skeet needs a bedroom. Oh yes, we got air conditioning, which is honestly very nice. Nothing for anomaly. Vanilla expanded, we have some generation stuff we can get into. Gravtech, we won't deal with that for a bit. Alright, what should we do next? Honestly, I like speedrunning to microelectronics so we get a high-tech research bench, which means that we will need to ooh, I hate the way this looks. Let's do something like this. Sure. So our meat is rotted away. That's because this is turned off. Let's get that turned back on. Sway, turn it back on, please. You need to do some cooking. Yeah, that's just a complete waste of meat. We need a freezer. This needs to get built. There's a lot of construction that needs to happen. And WAF still has a little bit of mining to do. Good thing is that this all seems to be basically inside the deepest part of the mountain, so shouldn't have any overhead stuff. So that's probably the area that we're going to expand mostly into. Did I build the solar panel under a rock roof? That is a great question. It doesn't appear so. No, we didn't. We're good. That's a good call out. Zap, you're about to ask if the dog actually helps at all. Yeah. Dog is super helpful. And it can attack and guard people as well if the owner is drafted. Who is the owner? Sway. Okay. Sway doesn't have his own bed yet. Sorry, Sway, you're gonna have to wait. You're usually pretty happy, so honestly, you're probably gonna be our most unhappy person because you're in pain. Disturb sleep times 3. Yeah, that'll do it. Meteorite, compacted steel. Excellent. We have enough steel for now, but we will certainly mine that out. So there's random events like that can happen. What? Duffo, let's do some blood feeding again. Go on a blood feed frenzy. Usually I like to have prisoners for that, but for now it is what it is. And there is a mood debuff, I think. Yeah, fed on by Duffo -5. That's honestly pretty significant. 4 or 5 days as well. So that's a significant mood debuff. So eventually we're gonna need to prioritize a prison of some sort once we get our freezer established, so we can get some prisoners. I mean, this is kind of our very rudimentary prison for now, but that's gonna have to change. But yeah, Frosia doing some work, building out the bedrooms. It would be a construction worker if it wasn't 3 bajillion degrees where you live. Yeah, that's honestly a fair point. You made that solar panel mistake so many times. It's drilled into it. Yeah, that's fair. There's mistakes like that. Once you make them once, then you're like, all right, never making that again. But since we have an ability to make a walk-in freezer, let's build into this a little bit. Have that mined out. So WAF should be doing construction now, so that should help a lot. There's a lot of construction that needs to be done. Let's put the walk-in freezer there, and hopefully the aircon pipes can be on areas that aren't already smoothed out. And hopefully it's fine with the corners. Sometimes it doesn't like the corners. Oh, actually, we don't need to go that far. We just need to go here and then put an outdoor. This kind of functions exactly like a normal air conditioning system. I used to work HVAC in high school for a few years, and we installed mini splits, just like this, basically a indoor unit hooked up to outdoor unit, and you're good to go. We're gonna need to bring power up here too, which ideally I'd like to just route the power up, but we might have to do this. I like the wires to be in the walls because it'll take me ages to put them in the walls. Oh, I have the hiccups now too. Great. Will I be doing any war crimes? When it comes to the prison, yes, we're gonna have dedicated prisoners purely so C-Duffo can like blood feed on and get hemorrhagin packs from, since he is a vampire. And eventually we will be chopping those prisoners, probably at least two, a minimum of two to sustain C-Duffo, and then some, because C-Duffo's death rest casket will need some hemorrhagin to be feeding into it eventually once we get some upgrades for it. I guess instead of hemorrhagin, I'll just say blood, just so everybody knows what we're talking about. But yeah, those couple prisoners that C-Duffo will rely on will they will have wooden peg legs installed and then uninstalled, so they can't move out of their bed. We will be drip feeding them nutrient pastes, so we never have to feed them. We don't have to waste effort on that. Basically, they will be sitting there forever. But I'll make the prison so it can handle, up to 7 people. Eventually, we're going to want to sell people into slavery, specifically to the Empire, so we can get some honor from them. The Empire every once in a while will come by and either accept prisoners or accept gold. In return, you get honor, so C-Duffo will get some honor. And with that honor, you can go up in ranks, and with each rank, you get different abilities. You can eventually trade with the Empire, which will be super helpful because they have good stuff. And in the map, I don't know if we're too close. Yeah, we're actually, we have a bunch of Empire. These pillars here are the Empire bases, but we have some Empire near us, which will be good to trade with because they do have the best stuff. But anyways, air conditioning, we need this to get built, and we will also need a little kitchen area. I think we can get away maybe with putting a kitchen area right here. I want it definitely to be across and very close to the freezer, so it makes sense to have the door right there, have a vent right there, and dig into this a little bit. I love having a really fast miner. Wait, pause. This is not okay. I hate thin roof areas. I don't know if that drives you nuts too, Anubis, but alright, if that doesn't work, let's try for right here. Okay, so there's thin roof area right there. There's thin roof area there. I don't care if this is the most symmetrical looking cooking area. It doesn't have to be. I just need some space to do what I want to do. Alright, cool. Rare thrumbos. These are could be good to hunt. I don't think we have the man. Sway is pissed off. Sorry, I just saw that out of the corner of my eye. I don't think we have the manpower to take any of these down, so we're just gonna let them do their thing. What was that noise I heard? Was it this? What was that? Armadillo? They have armadillos in the game? Is that from 1.6? They added a whole bunch of new like animals and stuff from the 1.6 update, which is huge. Okay, so people are starting to haul stuff. Sway is just cleaning the entire area. Let's go. We need that, because this is all technically one room. If there's not a door there, then it's one room. Okay, this is now slowly turning into a freezer. We need more power to go to this. I need to check on our power. Our battery is fully charged. Our windmill is still not happy because these walls haven't been taken down. I'm gonna have Anubis. You can do that. Take down those walls so our windmill's happy. And then we should be good on power, which means we should be able to increase power to our AC and give this all the power that it needs. Sway is in a daze. That is a wake up withdrawal. That's why Sway is pissed off. Wake up withdrawal minus 22. Yep, that'll do it. Slept in the cold. What? What do you mean slept in the cold? Do I have to start adding some heat? It's permanent summer. So I mean, temperature shouldn't go much below 60. And I realized I should add the mod for Fahrenheit and Celsius. So if there's people that prefer one or the other, it's called out there. There is a mod for that. I gotta remember that. Psychic drone low female. So any females. So Frosia. Is Frosia the only female? Male, 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 male. Yeah. Sorry, Frosia. You're gonna have a minus 12 debuff for a handful of days. Anubis says it's so hard to find the perfect mountain, thick roof, marble and granite. Yeah, marble and granite. You you know what's up. But you do always keep eyes out for the good seeds. Yeah. Yeah, I hate the caves, but I definitely wanted a stockpile, and that stockpile and a hollow, which is this map type. It is cool because you can search in the bottom right. As you're looking for something, you can search like a hollow, and on the map you see these orange icons. That's all the hollows on the map. So I literally clicked through all the hollows on the map and found, you know, in the terrain it says hollow, mixed biome, coast, or the one that we're on says hollow, cave pools, drug stockpile. So I literally clicked through all of them until I found one that had a hollow and a stockpile. And there were only like 2 or 3 of those. But you can search anything. Like basins are pretty fun. Basins are basically natural depression in a mountain range in which groundwater feeds a small lake. So basically there's 2 points. Sway is really pissed off, jeez. There's 2 points in the map basically that enemies can enter, and there's a giant lake in the middle. So that can, if you're looking to do some crowd control, that can be fun to build a base around, kind of thing. Especially if you do like little huts on the mountain, or little huts on the lake. That can also be pretty fun. But yeah, 1.6 added a lot to the world map and tiles, and it gives more of a reason to go out and explore some of the tiles, which is why I think the grav ship and that DLC Odyssey is a ton of fun. But okay, yeah, we got a freezer going, so let's fill it up with stuff. Let's move some stuff around. Reinstall that. The electric stove. Let's get a wooden door there. Let's get a vent, because when you cook, it actually increases the temperature in the room, and if you have a small room, then it will actually get kind of warm in that room. So you want to make sure that you always have a vent in your cooking area. And since this is all marble, let's match that with a marble wall right there and there. And this will be our cooking area. With that being said, let's reinstall the meat hook to be very close to here, because all our meat and bodies will be there. And let's also move... I don't want a separate room, and I don't want to put the butcher table in there. So for now, I'm going to keep it close to the freezer just for simplicity, but we might have a dedicated room for... Actually, wait a minute. I got a better idea. Let's put the butcher table outside here. Perfect. Perfect for now. If you're just joining the stream, welcome. We are starting a playthrough where we're loyal to the Empire. Gonna do everything that we can to the Empire. Trying to build massive mountain fortress. We're gonna try to focus, or not try. We're going to focus on genetics and genes and all that. And eventually, probably around when we start researching and crafting advanced components, that's when we're gonna start doing anomaly. I have like 2,000 hours in the game, and I've never really done anything with anomaly. So and I don't know many of like the spoilers. I haven't been on Reddit looking for anomaly stuff. Yeah, I see stuff. I see like, oh, the cube, the gold cube, or this or that. So I know some things, but like a lot of it, I have zero clue. So I don't know how to counter any of it. So that will be mildly terrifying. Um, I'm gonna try not to save scum for this playthrough, which means I won't try to like if something bad happens, I won't try to load an old save to avoid that. But once it comes to anomaly and we're learning how to counter different things and I get absolutely murked from something stupid, then I will reload a recent save for that. We just got an achievement for Sway being 24 hours total in a mental break state. So that's cool. That's a cool achievement. We got that in our first stream, not even 20 days in. We're at 40,000 wealth right now, so that's pretty good. Anubis says, since you've sided with the Empire, you're going to raise a Sith Lord. Yeah, Cduffo is going to be our Sith Lord. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't know there's a shortcut key for that. What was that? Press Q? No, Z. Okay. Okay, yeah, so let me focus on... We have a decent amount of steel, so we can do this. Let's do... I framed this a little bit. Maybe we'll put decorations over here. Let's set this to critical, clear all. Let's do raw food and vegetarian animal products. I'll do vegetarian. So I want all of our crops and all of our meat to be as close to the door as possible, so we minimize the steps that Sway will have to take when he's cooking a whole bunch of food for us. Let's also get a light in here and a light in here. Nobody likes cooking in the dark. I probably don't want Sway to be missing any fingers. Once that's built, oh, we already have 3,000 vegetables. That's that's honestly a ton. We're about to get a ton of cotton. So honestly, real quick, no, I should keep that focused on microelectronics so we can research faster. We have a bunch of rooms that we need to build. We still need another bedroom for Sway. Poor Sway is going to be our most pissed off colonist. I will unassign Waff and reassign Sway. Waff will have to live in the barracks. That's okay, though. I think right now Waff is our second most pissed off. 8 raw food? Why are we... Oh, Jesus, because Sway's been in a mental break. Okay, yes, this reinforces the fact that we need a whole bunch of storage. Let's link these together. Let's do... yeah, keep it at preferred for now. Let's clear all. Let's do foods. Let's make sure we uncheck packaged survival meals because those don't need to be refrigerated. Honestly, I should clear all and do meals. Do that. Let me look at something that's maybe a tiny bit more interesting while I do this. Okay, so that handles meals. For meat, we want all meat, even if it's human meat. Vegetarian, we want all vegetarian. I don't know if we're going to get into animals. We might, so let's put hay in there. Let's do wort as well, because we're probably going to get into beer. Usually I use beer as like beer and wake up production as my main way of getting wealth, other than just normally accumulating and selling stuff. And let's put hops as accepted to be in there. Cool, that should handle most of it. Let's, out of this normal storage, take out all foods from there. Actually, I take that back. All meals except for packaged survival, so basically the opposite of what we just did. I don't want any meat, I don't want any vegetarian, and maybe some animal products, sure. And I want to make sure that wort does not go in there. This is kind of some of the tedious stuff of Rimworld, but once you set your storage up once, then it's basically good for a bit. And you can see this is starting to get a little dirty. Sway's been on his mental break for a bit. Honestly, need him to start cooking. He's walking very slow. That is because his moving speed is at 42%, and I think that's mostly because of wake up with withdrawal. We have 0 wake up. That's fine though. It is what it is. A slaver's coming by. Alright, alright. We don't have any prisoners, and I'd like to avoid buying any prisoners because we can easily get some. Unless they're really good. Well, I guess we'll see. Yeah, everybody's been eating raw food, so you can see everybody's moods dropping a little bit to like 50%, which isn't great. What is it, like the 30% mark? Minor break threshold is 35%, major break threshold is 20%, extreme break threshold is 5%. So if their mood gets to any of those thresholds, that's that's the severity of and chance of them having a mental break. Sway is already doing some cleaning because he's already cooked enough. We can set our simple meals to be at 25 now that we have a freezer. 25 is just a good amount. That'll keep us, if Sway goes into another mental break for more than a day, then we'll at least have 2 days worth of food in simple meals. And now with fine meals, we can bump that up to 100 and hunt everything of substantial size on the map. So Gazelle's first to go, and now none of our meat will rot, which is honestly pretty huge. That's a win right there. Now we just need our dog. I don't know if our dog is going to take stuff from the shelves and move it from this storage to the other. It seems like it is. So Zap, you're putting in the work now. You have 3,000 veggies to move into our freezer. But Anubis, I do like the idea of the airlock for this, and we'll eventually get auto wooden doors. If you're new to Rimworld, you can make doors out of different materials. There's wood, there's stone, there's steel. Wood is the fastest opening door. Stone doors take a little while longer to open. So any high traffic areas like a freezer or the front door to your base, you want wooden doors. Bedrooms, I might do something a little bit more robust, like a limestone door. That way, if we get insects or raiders in here that drop pod raid, it'll take them a little while longer to break down the door compared to wooden. This limestone door has 250 hit points, and the wooden door has 104, so more than twice. Also, wooden doors are flammable, and any stone doors are not flammable, so there's that. It seems like everybody who's doing construction has nothing left to construct, so they're just smoothing out the walls, which is fine. But yeah, I think we did a lot so far. This is having 6 people definitely helps. I'm gonna have C Duffo trade with these guys real quick. Sometimes, even if you just talk with people, especially in 1.6, you might get like a quest that pops up from them, even if you don't buy anything. Ooh, do I buy herbal medicine? I think we're good. Are any of these people good? I mean, the guy has a lot of passions. I don't know if I clicked on the same person. I think I did. These are honestly pretty good people. How much do they want from? Yeah, we don't have any silver. Sorry, can't do it. We'll have to save our war crimes for another day. But yeah, our colony is looking a bit messy. That's because Sway had a mental break and he's catching up on cooking. He has a lot of cooking to do now. But yeah, he'll get to that. We'll have a lot of food in the freezer. We'll be good to go. And from there, we're going to be pretty stable in terms of food. We already have 3,000, which is honestly huge for beginning. That means our wealth is up a little bit. We'll get slightly higher or worse raids because of that. But yeah, I'm not going to try to grow too much. But we have some things to do. We're going to have to build out a room for research. We're going to have to build out a room for C Duffo for his death rest casket and all the upgrades that will eventually come with that. We're gonna have to do a bunch of decorating in the freezer, in the cooking room. we're gonna have to build a prison. And honestly, we might prioritize making like a pretty well established prison before we even make like a nice established dining room. That's when you know we have our priorities straight. Is when you focus and make a prison before you make a maining dining and recreation area. But yeah, that's Rimworld. You get your priorities straight. But I think that's where we're gonna call it for today's stream. We got a lot done already, so this is pretty awesome for the progress so far. I am gonna try to stick to a schedule of streaming every Wednesday from 7 to 9 Eastern time. I know next week I'm gonna have my parents and potentially niece and nephew with me, so I'll see if it's gonna be quiet enough to do a stream then. The nice little flash storm. Um, I'll see if it's quiet enough to do a stream for next week. If not, then I might move it to a different day next week. But let's plan for Wednesdays. WoW Efficiency Wednesdays is when we'll have our RimWorld stream. And even if you miss the stream, you can tune in later, watch the VOD either on Twitch or I'll put it on YouTube as well. And join the Discord. Make sure that if you miss a stream, you can see the stream summaries on Discord as well, so you don't miss a thing. But I'm trying to make this so even if you miss a couple streams or a few streams, whatever it is, you can see the progress. It's always cool seeing what's been done from where it started, and yeah, catch up real quick and get back into it. So that's what we're doing. I have some goals. Let me know in the Discord if you have any other goals or any other things you want to see happen, either whether it's in the short term or long term. That'd be cool. But that's what we're gonna call it. So Anubis, thanks for all the tips so far. I'm looking forward to running stuff off of you and bouncing stuff off and see how it goes. But that is where we're gonna call it for today. Thanks, appreciate all the support, all the raiders from C Duffo. If you haven't joined C Duffo's Discord and haven't watched him, then make sure to do that. Good friend, and he definitely deserves it. Appreciate you guys all coming over from the raid, and we'll see you in the next stream.